Starting the morning passing a spring. This is Holton Spring. Not as pretty as some of the other springs in Ocala, but it's still spring. I think it was flowing kind of in this direction because I was walking past a creek for a while. But much more humid already today. We'll see how it feels midday, early afternoon when it gets to be 80 degrees. But I'll still be walking kind of around the Swanee. Also, I'm gonna walk around another river today. I think it's the Withlahoochee or something like that. I'll have to look up that name when I get there. But yeah, that's really all I have to say at this point of the day. Of course, once I turn my camera off, I get to a spot on the spring where you can see what I'm talking about. So it's round, so it goes this way. But then at the far end over there, you can see where the outlet is, where the run is. So this is Holton Spring. This is the head of the spring, and then it goes that way. So the trail in this section kind of dips up and down back from the Swanee. So right now, I'm passing where you can see it. This is the Suwannee River, which empties into the Swanee. So basically had to take a road walk to a bridge, and now I'm walking the banks of the Suwannee back down to the Swanee. I have another one coming up later in the day where I'm kind of doing the same thing, and that's definitely a land issue where I had to reroute after I think some landowners didn't want the Florida Trail going through their land, or wanted more money for the Florida Trail going through their land, or something like that. So I've got a couple of side rivers besides the Swanee today, and this is the first one. I'm currently walking through a wooded section. I just got a glimpse of the Swanee about a minute or so ago. But you can see it's all kind of bumpy. This is the, I'm assuming the karst topography. And karst is just a limestone, which has a bunch of, you know, holes and sinks and such. And here is a pretty good example of it. This is a nice, deep sinkhole that has water. Not all of them do have water, but this one does. But it's been a little bumpy. A little bumpy maybe the past mile. But it's just part of the Florida landscape. I'm surprised I haven't bumped into more bumpy, sinkholey parts of the trail. Would you look at that? I finally got a glimpse of the Swanee again. Looks like the Suwannee, but much bigger now that we're downstream. This has definitely grown in size. Probably will just keep getting bigger because the trail keeps going downstream. So I've been paralleling it for a while, but more inland. Now I'm right on the bank again for a little bit. There's a sharp turn coming up where I have to go inland and do a road walk and then come back. I'm assuming that's because of a property issue again. And then I will just keep continuing downstream following the Swanee. This deteriorated sign is a welcome sight after walking through all those no trespassing signs as you're going around property. I'm back on the Swanee, about to enter state park property. And that sign could use some repair. Alright, so if I needed to camp, I could camp, but I'm not even like halfway through my day today. So I'm just gonna keep walking. So I'm on my long road walk around the property closure detour, and I'm crossing the Withlahoochee River. And up here I'm gonna have a turn, and I'm gonna follow that. This must be a very recent detour because some of the locals driving by stopped and talked to me, and they seemed very sympathetic about whoever it was closing off their property or wanting to get more money for the lease or whatever. But almost done with it. Gonna go along this river for a while, and then I'm going to meet back up with the Swanee.